Hi, welcome, Geekella here, and today we are going to test out some new art supplies. I just bought some new oil pastels, and I feel like this would be a great opportunity to share a little bit about oil pastels and try comparing a very inexpensive brand with a more kind of mid-tier brand. So I just recently started using oil pastels. I have not used them really since like elementary school as an art medium, so I've never really used them in serious work. But I did purchase these Faber-Castell set of 12 oil pastels. These run about $8 list price. They're frequently on sale. I was able to get this set of 12 for $5 from Michael's, and overall I've been decently happy with them. I have made a few neat pieces with them. I do enjoy using them mixed media with watercolor, like over on top of watercolor. This range of colors, though, I felt like was not super great, so I did want to expand to a larger color range and decided to try out another brand. So I've always been very happy with the Caran d'Ache products I have. I have quite a few of the Neo Color 2 crayons, as well as a gouache set from them. So I decided to try out their oil pastels. I did get the set of 24, but for reference, I kind of separated these out from the order they came in. I haven't tried them out though. These are the colors that would come in the set of 12. And if we look, it's a pretty similar set of colors to what came in my Faber-Castell set. But then we also did get some nice blues and greens, earth tones. So I feel like this is a really good landscape palette. Now these are quite a bit more expensive. The 12 set, which is just these, runs about $26, and this whole set of 24 was $45. So it is about 3 times as expensive as the Faber-Castells. And these frequently do not go on sale, where something like this brand that's sold at stores like Michael's frequently does go on sale. So it can end up being more than 3 times as much. So I'm going to swatch both of these out and compare them. As I said, these are brand new. I have not tried them yet. And to use my watercolors, we're just going to use my favorite mixed media paper. This is great for light use of watercolor, as well as sketching, any sort of kind of light application of paint, oil, pastels. It's just a great kind of everyday paper if it's not super expensive. I have used this with watercolor. I have used it just for sketching. So it's just a nice all-around paper. So first I want to swatch out my Faber-Castells. Maybe I will just kind of divide my paper in half so we can kind of get a side-by-side of swatching. And I guess there's no real use in swatching the white. It is good over other colors, obviously, but by itself, it shouldn't really appear at all. Mine is a little dirty just from using it recently, but overall, white doesn't really show up on its own. Here is a light gray color. Black, very dark black. Very pigmented there. The gray, not so much. There's yellow. This is kind of an ochre color. This one also doesn't seem quite as pigmented. Brown. I do quite like this red. I used this in a tulips kind of over watercolor recently. I liked a lot. There's orange. And this one came with a dark blue and a light blue. I found the dark blue to be a little patchier, not as pigmented. But then the light blue is quite nice, a lot creamier. I would say overall, just kind of going off of what I remember from using different oil pastels, is that these are quite hard. They kind of feel like coloring with a crayon. So I'm interested to see if the higher quality ones, the more expensive ones, are creamier or if they're similar in hardness. Right, so there are the colors that come with this 12 set from Faber-Castell. And just to do a little experiment, I'm going to take just this green and just try blending it with yellow. And just to see how they blend. Oil pastels are fun, but they are a little messy. I do enjoy watercolor just because it's a very kind of neat medium. It can be messy. You can see all my splatter kind of around my desk, but it's also a little bit neater. Try with the finger. I feel like with the stick they weren't really moving very well. With the finger they're moving a little bit. I feel like I'm not really getting a nice blend with these. So I know my technique is probably not great just from not being as familiar with using oil pastels, but I'm not super a fan of the way that these blend. I feel like when I remember trying these before, I know it's been a while since like elementary, middle school. I feel like I remember oil pastels like blending very well, and just videos I watched of other artists where I feel like these just kind of don't really blend very nicely. And let's try swatching on to off colors. We're just going to do the 12 that come in the same kind of size set. We're going to do these 12 and then we'll do the whole thing as well. But let's just swatch the first 12 just for a direct comparison of the 12 set versus the 12 set. Here's our white. Again, I guess no real use in swatching other than just for fun, because I don't know if you can really see that on camera. Maybe it was worth swatching the white. This is like a very, very white color. We can really see that on the paper. It's even whiter than this pretty pure white paper. And this one came with light gray. Again, just a direct color comparison. This light gray versus this light gray. This definitely does feel like a way richer and creamier color. Black, so both of them came with black. And both of them I feel like the black is pretty similar, pigmented. These definitely do feel softer than the Faber-Castells. They're also a little skinnier, which I like. I feel like I could sharpen these or even not sharpen. They are a little easier to get kind of more fine movement. They are quite a bit skinnier of a tool. There's our ochre, brown. So far these first 6 colors are all the same general color. And I definitely feel like, just looking at the color comparisons, the one main big difference is in our grays here, and then our ochre is quite a different shade. This one's a lot orangier, and this one's a little bit more, I don't know, raw sienna-y. Otherwise, they're pretty similar colors in general. Now we have red. I think this is the color Scarlet. a little bit more of a cool toned red. This is where this set differs. The Caran d'Ache set comes with purple, and the Faber-Castell came with orange. So I do like the inclusion of this pinky purple color, just personal preference with my own work. Ultramarine. So more of a primary blue than the dark blue that came in the other set. Light blue. Much of a more cool tone blue compared to my kind of a little bit warmer tealer blue. Here's emerald green. Very nice, more kind of primary viridian type green. And yellow green. So again, just kind of comparing side by side our colors. I do feel like I like this light green that is more yellow versus this kind of blue-ish light green. Overall, just kind of looking, feels like these are going to be a lot creamier, better coverage. So I am happy so far, but let's just see with my, not great skill here, how they are blending. So I'm going to take same color, so I'm going to take my emerald green, and I'm going to take the yellow. This was just the regular yellow. And I feel like just layering them, they're like mixing a lot nicer together. But let's try using the blending stick and then our finger. So first with the stick. I feel like even with the stick, we're just getting like, it's very easy to just kind of burnish that color and kind of remove that paper texture. Just kind of blending it out a little bit. This just feels nicer to use. I feel like this one just kind of felt like waxier, where this one is a little more oilier, if that makes sense. And then if I use my finger, let's try adding a little more yellow here. I feel like I'm able to get more of a kind of, yellow-green color when I'm mixing them versus this. I just feel like it got very patchy. Surprisingly, with the cheaper ones, I like my finger better as a blending tool, where with the more expensive ones, the Caran d'Ache, I kind of like using the blending stick better. I feel like this gives me a more even blend, where this one, I feel like the stick didn't really do much. It kind of just like scraped off the oil pastel versus blending it. So just based on my, few minute just swatching them out, I really feel like I'm going to enjoy the Caran d'Ache colors quite a bit. And let's swatch out all of the Caran d'Ache colors next. So we'll set the Faber-Castells aside. And get a fresh sheet of paper to swatch out all of the Neo pastels. So I did kind of mess up the order of these, so we'll just kind of go in not a perfect like rainbow order or anything, but we'll swatch out all 24 colors. I did get the 24 set because I wanted a wider range of blues and neutral tones, greens, since I primarily do landscape work. I am glad that I got the 24 set because the 12 set is included with this. So it's the exact same colors in the 12 set plus an additional 12 colors. So I would recommend that if you know you're looking for oil pastels, to get the largest set that you can, because like if you bought the 12 set and then wanted to upgrade to a 24, you'd be repeating a lot of the colors. I'm not sure with the less expensive ones, but for these, they also do sell them individually on Blick. I believe they are about $2, maybe like $2.50 a piece. So if you did get the 12 set and there was, you know, some individual colors you wanted to add, you could then purchase individual colors. Same thing with the Neo colors. I did purchase some new individual colors recently from Blick to expand my set and give me more of those kind of earth tones that I want for my landscape work. But let's go ahead and swatch all 24 colors and see how they look. I was a little confused because I felt like I had off colors, so somehow I ended up swatching my ochre twice, so bonus points if you caught me do that, because it took me a sec to realize what I did. So there's ochre twice for some reason, but otherwise here are all 24 colors in this set. I feel like this is a nice range of colors. I like that we do get that yellow light green and that more blue toned light green. We do get a few other colors like that where we get more of those vivid violet purples and more of a pinky purple. We do have a couple of more like teal blues versus more like cool tone primary blues. So this is a very versatile set. I feel like I'm going to be happy with this. This does come with a total of 96 colors in the range, but I feel like with these 24, I will be able to do a lot of work with this, and you know, this will serve my needs. So last thing I want to do is just try using them a little bit. And I'm just going to go on the back of this kind of first swatch sheet. Oil pastels are messy. They do kind of get everywhere, but that's okay. All right, so let's draw something just to kind of test these out and their blending, how I enjoy using them, what colors I'm kind of going for. As I said, I am new to using oil pastels in a more like serious artwork, not, you know, elementary school kind of fashion. So definitely not using, you know, perfect technique or anything here. We're just playing. But I quite like how rich and creamy they are so far. So let's try blending out a little bit of our flower center. We're going to try doing a little sunflower here. And I just love that, like, this is one kind of nice color and we can layer that. So let's go ahead and try out some sunflower petals. This was a fun experiment. As I said, definitely still new to using this medium, but I definitely feel like these are top tier. I'm interested to buy maybe just one or two of the Sunny A ones to compare, just to see a comparison of like what different brands can feel like. But I can't imagine that they would convince me to not use these Caran d'Ache, because these ones just move exactly how I wanted them to when I first bought first bought oil pastels. Um, they just blend, they move around nicely. So future project might be trying an even cheaper with the Pentel and an even more expensive with the Senier. If you have used either one of those, please let me know so I can kind of make a decision on if it's worth trying some other brands or if we have found the one with the Caran d'Ache. But as I said, so far, really enjoying these. Excited to see how they work on top of my watercolors. I love mixed media and I love mixing watercolor and oil pastels. That's definitely a fun thing I am enjoying now. If you are interested in oil pastels, I definitely recommend checking out these Caran d'Ache sets. They are quite nice to work with and definitely seem worth the money. As a reminder, I said that the set of 12 was about $26 and the set of 24 that I purchased is about $45. My swatch sheet here got a little muddied up, but we did have our less expensive Faber-Castells and our more expensive Caran d'Ache. I hope that this was helpful in helping you pick out which oil pastels you'd like to try.